This video is brought to you by the Farmer Klein YouTube channel. Be sure to like, subscribe, and comment.
Everybody, welcome back to the Farming Simulator 22 Map First Impressions video. Today we're going to take a look at Green Gold Farm. But before that, this video is brought to you by E10 Marin and Squiggy486. Thank you for being farm barons. So the Green Gold Farm map can be found over at the farmingsimulator.com website or the in-game downloadable content menu. And as of the 1.0 release, this map is available for PC players only. Let me read you a little bit of the description. Green Gold Farm is inspired by a real farm location in the southern region of Brazil. This land has farmland for white grains such as soy, sorghum, wheat, and some land leased for the cultivation of sugarcane. The rye region has 3 dams. One of them is located on a farm where you can draw water out for your animals. This map has 4 forest areas, 2 grain sell points, sell of wool and cotton at the spinnery. You can sell logs down at the logging facility. At the main farm, we have a silo, cow pasture, 2 sheds, and a farmhouse. We can also sell our factory products at the supermarket. There is a bakery, a dairy also on the map, and of course, as with South America maps in general, we have ourselves a limestone mine. There is a new crop in black beans, and some businesses do close their doors at the evening hours. And in fact, the sugarcane factory, well, it is open from 5 a.m. to 7 p.m. Let's go ahead and load on into the map. We are going to use the mods we typically use when we take a look at maps. That is additional field info, additional game settings, field lease, field calculator, and precision farming. I'll tell you, if you happen to load this map up in farm manager mode or start from scratch, you will find the main farm is built out exactly how you see it here in new farmer mode, with the exception you do not own any land, nor do you have any starting machinery, but all of the farm buildings are exactly how you're going to see them here. Let's go ahead and take a look at the PDA. As you'll see, we have some irregularly shaped fields of various sizes. And taking a look at our lands area, we start up by owning farmland 25, and that is it. That is going to include the main starting farm as well as field 3 and 4. We do have all the standard crops available to us in Farm Sim 22, in addition to the crop of black bean, which has been added to the map. And we also do not have a biogas plant on this map. Let's go ahead and take a look at our farmland lease screen. The farmland lease screen is going to show us all of the viable farmlands, how large those farmlands are, if those farmlands include any field or fields, which are included in ultimately how much is that farmland going to cost us. So our main starting farmland is going to cost $709,000 to buy in any other play mode. As you can see, we have quite the variety of farmland sizes. And the field numbers are kind of scattered all over the place with respect to the farmland numbers. Taking a look at our field calculator screen, we're going to then see the specific sizes of each field itself. So for field 3, it's 5.33 hectares, and field 4 is 2 hectares respectively. Looking at the other fields, they range in size from just over 1 hectare all the way up to 8.5, 10.25, 11.67 at the largest. Let's go ahead and take a look and see how the precision farming soil map is being applied to this map. We are going to be making use of the generic soil map on this particular map, and this is coming directly from the precision farm mod itself. Let's go ahead and take a look at our crop counter. You will see we do indeed have a custom crop counter here by the wild planting and harvest schedule that we have here as compared to the standard base game crop counter. And here we do have our black beans. We're going to be planting those in March, April, and May, and then harvesting those in July, August, or September. Taking a look at our prices screen, we do indeed have the ability to sell most of our crops that we can grow in a Farm Sim 22. In addition, we also have the ability to sell our eggs, wool, and milk. And then as far as our production go, we do have the ability to sell all of our crops with the exception of a few. Fabric, once again, and these select few seem to come up time and time again. And I'm starting to wonder if maybe there is a starting map out there that is lacking the ability to sell fabric, as well as the ability to sell chocolate and planks. Because I cannot tell you how many times we have seen fabric chocolate, and planks, all not being able to be sold. And it just seems to be now at this point a little bit too ironic that they all seem to pop up from time to time as a collective as things that can't be sold. So I'm starting to wonder if maybe there is a starting map out there that folks are using to start building out their maps that is lacking the ability to have fabric, chocolate, and plank sell points by default, and then folks aren't recognizing that, and then they're not adding them back in. So we do have the ability to buy bulk lime, and we also have the ability to sell our stones. We have black bean, and then we do not have the ability to sell any of the platinum expansion production items. So if you do wish to do any of the platinum expansion production, you will need to put down your own sell point for those. If you are playing with pumps and hoses, though, we do have a place to sell your separated manure. Take a look at our starting fleet. It is all new. None of it is leased. Now, the Lizard pickup truck does have a little bit of maintenance problems with it, so you will likely want to do a little bit of maintenance on that, as well as a few other pieces of machinery. We do have some cows at the start. We have 15 cows, 10 Holstein, and 5 Brown Swiss. We do have contracts available on the map. We also own the oil mill and the cereal factory at the start, and this map does have 10 collectibles. Let's go ahead and take a look at our starting fleet. We start out with the John Deere 6250R medium tractor, as well as the Massey Ferguson 6718S. We have our John Deere T560 harvester that is paired up with the 625X grain header. We have our 2017 pickup truck. We have the Rudolph TDK 301 RP trailer, the Vector 570 cultivator, as well as the Terrasem C6F seeder. And then we wrap it all up with a Breedal K165 fertilizer and lime spreader. Taking a look at our mods and DLCs, you will see that we do not have any custom vehicles or implements that are a part of the map. Now I'm just going to quickly tab over to the farm, since we start over at the vehicle shop as far as our career start point. And if there was any doubt as to if this was a South American map, well, the telltale brown and red earth, that is going to clearly indicate that. So here at the starting farm, we have a nice brick and metal shed. We've got even a load of lime already, I believe, up here in the spreader. It's not oftentimes we start a map out and have product in a fertilizer or lime spreader. We have our farmhouse, our pickup truck. So we have a wardrobe trigger outside. I'm not able to hit that with the pickup truck. And we have our sleep trigger around the front. We have a little water collection point here. Or water trigger. Then we have a custom multi-fruit silo. This has no doubt been set up to also accept the new crop in black bean. We have our pipe fill point here to fill our trailer out of the silo. Then we have our dump point dump into the silo right there. Now, as far as the farm being customizable, everything we've seen so far can be sold. The shed, the farmhouse, and the silo. As far as what cannot be sold, this pole barn, the pole shed, it cannot be sold. So it is permanently embedded on the map, as well as the rocks around it. And then around the corner, we have our cow area. So this particular cow area is going to hold 82 cows. Kind of an interesting number, 82. Inside here we have our food trough. We have our milk point. And then our water point, well, it's going to be... Honestly, I guess it's maybe here as well. Oh, there it is. They were hidden. The milk cows were standing in front of it. I came over here during the precursor, checking the map out, and you can sell the cow area. So if you get rid of the cows, you can eliminate the cow area, but what will remain is the fence. So all the triggers go away, the pole barn there goes away, the troughs go away, but the fence around this grassy hillside is going to remain, as is the cattle chute. But at that point, if you do sell the cow barn, then you could put down another animal area here if you should so wish, or you could just use this as a nice grass hillside. And that is pretty much the starting farm area. Let's go ahead and take a look at our build mode, because we do have some custom vehicles, or not vehicles, but some custom buildings and such here with the build mode. So we do have the ability to put down the metal shed that we have here at the starting farm. We also have the ability to put down the large custom silo. Rotates 360 degrees on center. And then as far as the rest are all fairly standard items, we do have the ability to put down our farmhouse. We do not have any custom production. Actually, I went and said that, and we do. Sorry about that. So we have a custom bakery here. And then we have a custom dairy that we'll see in closer detail on our drive around tour. We have the custom grocery sell point also that we can put down. Everything else is standard. All of our animal areas are standard as well. Standard decorative items. And then as far as landscaping goes, we do have a decent listing of ground textures that we can paint. We have our animal mud, our asphalt, concrete, dirt, our red dirt, some browner dirt, some more dirt, lots of dirt. We have our forest ground, grass, dry grass, gravel, rock, and granite. We've got fairly standard plants, but we do have custom grass and a custom meadow. Let's go over here and check these out. Here we are. So our animal mud looks rather dried animal mud. Various shades of dirt. Our rock. I like that we've got the red rock here. Forest ground. And then we have the grass, and then we have the meadow. Some tiny, tall shrubbery going on there. Let's go ahead and get some altitude, and we'll take a quick look around. So one thing you can tell right away, we do have some rolling hills on our fields. Now, off in the distance, we do have then the sugar mill, or the sugar cane processing facility. Here we have our animal dealer. We'll have our animal dealer as well as our bale sell point below. Coming over here to the sugarcane processing facility. Now, this is not a factory. This is just a generic sell point. In fact, the map has 5 production points built in. We have a bakery, a dairy, a small sawmill, oil mill, and cereal mill. So we will be giving the map a full point there with respect to having production items built in or areas set aside for such. So we have our dump point for our sugarcane. And then, interestingly, around the side here, we have a buy point for slurry. So as a byproduct of our sugarcane processing, we have some wastewater. And the wastewater tanks are over here. And this has been set up to allow us to come here and basically buy the wastewater. And for the purpose of the game, the wastewater is a slurry fill type. One of our grain sell points is just to the north of the sugarcane facility. That is going to be right here. We have 2 lanes to dump our product into. Continuing up the main road, we have our fuel dealership, our gas station. To the right, we have our vehicle dealership, which we'll come back to momentarily. And then we have our custom dairy operation right here. We have our cereal factory, our vehicle shop, as I mentioned, our oil mill, our second grain sell point. It's located right here, just south of Field 31. Here we have our spinnery, our cotton and wool sell point. Coming up to our sawmill. Now, as far as being able to sell all of our crops, production outputs, and animal outputs, since we do not have the ability to sell fabric, chocolate, or planks, we are going to be giving the map 3/4 of a point on that metric. So we have another fuel point here in the northeast corner. Coming up to kind of our hoteling area. Our hotels, we do have the grocery sell point here to the right. And then to the left, we have our bakery. Our custom bakery. And if we continue to take this road to the west, what we're going to come across is, well, you're not going to have a South American map without a lime mine, and that is exactly what we're going to find over here in the forest. As far as the farms being customizable, as I mentioned earlier, we are going to give the map 3/4 of a point there as well, because we do have the one pole barn that will remain. So we have our stone crusher down here in the lime mine, and we also have the ability to buy bulk lime as well. Let's make our way back over to our vehicle shop, where we're going to buy our Mahindra and then do our drive around. So down here at the John Deere dealership, we're going to have to go inside to get to our dealer trigger. And then our vehicles are going to spawn out here out front. And then as far as our maintenance, repair, customize, trade, resell, and repaint dealer trigger is over here at the side building. And we do not have our yellow or black markers, but what I can tell you is I took a look, and this white painted area is basically outlining the trigger for the maintenance. So I'm going to go ahead and say that that is good enough as far as a marker for our maintenance trigger. I don't need the yellow and black icon or marker corners. It would be convenient because that's what players are used to, but it's not a requirement. Because all we're really looking for there is, are the indicators clearly marked? And I do feel that that paint kind of helps clearly indicate that. So here at our oil mill, right across the street from our vehicle shop, we have our pallet spawn point, our dump point, and our interactive trigger around the side door. Then we have a grain sell point. One of the two grain sell points on the map. Make our way over here to our cotton and wool sell point. At the spinnery, but this is not a functional spinnery. Remember, we do not have a spinnery factory or production point on the map, and this is rather narrow coming in here. So if you do have sheep or you are planting cotton, you will want to either sell it at that sell point or put down your own spinnery in order to process that into fabric, at which time you're going to then either need to process it further into clothing or forego the ability to sell that fabric and then put down your own sell point. I was hoping there was going to be a road between fields 26 and 28, but there's not. So let's take up the, let's grab the South American Highway here. Oh. And this is going to take us up to our sawmill. Don't want to miss our road. A little hidden coming in here to the sawmill. We have our interactive icon. We have our dump point for our logs and our wood cell trigger. We have our wood chip point. And then we have our pallet spawn point here on the pole barn. We'll make our way over to the one of the two fuel points on the map, the extreme northeast corner. Traffic's moving along at a pretty good clip along this road. So here we have a fuel point. We also have a maintenance trigger up here. And a nice little attention to detail. We've got this little pull off. Ah, someone's got to clean that trash up. Making our way around to remember what we saw during the flyover. Kind of what I call the hotel area. And we'll call this the tourist area. Maybe they're apartments. Kind of look like hotels to me. Ah, I can't drive today. And we have then our grocery and our bakery down here. Coming up first to the bakery. So we have our pallet spawn point on the side, our interactive trigger on the front, our dump point on the other side. We have then our supermarket. Now, with respect to buildings where appropriate are using the new texturing technique, we're going to give the map 3/4 of a point. So we do have things like the custom bakery and the custom dairy. They are using the new techniques. For example, the bakery is using the 3D windowing technique that was created back in FS19's expansion map of Erlengrot. There are several buildings on the map that are using the new 3D texturing technique with respect to their brickwork and siding and such. But there are a few things like the pole barn and a couple other items around the map that are not using that technique. So we're just going to go with 3/4 of a point. Not a big deduction, and I don't really think it affects the gameplay per se. But it is something that we do take a look for. Let's go ahead and dive down into the lime mine. I don't know what it is with the South American maps and their love of the lime mines, but it has come to be a kind of a token thing. If you got a South American map, you better have a lime mine, because if not, it's going to feel weird. Fairly easy road to get down in here. Sometimes these mine roads are really rough. Then down here we have our stone crusher, our lime bulk buy point. And then we will wind our way back up out of the mine. And then once we do that, we're going to be making our way down the western side of the map to the southwest corner, which is where we're going to find the sugar cane factory. I should say the sugar cane sell point, because, well, it actually isn't a production factory. It would have been nice if it was, that it would then, like, process into sugar from the sugar cane. We saw a hint of this in the flyover as we were coming back to the dealer. We've got a nice bridge over troubled waters. Then just on the other side of the bridge, we have that custom dairy. So on the back, we have our pallet spawn point. Dump point around the side. And interactive trigger here. I like the dairy here. I hope at night it lights up. That would be really neat. And then we have our cereal factory. Dump point, pallet point, and interactive point just to the left as you come in. And we're not going to go further down that road, because that is where we started with respect to our vehicle dealer. Coming down south along this road, we're next going to stop is another fuel point. Located right there. We're going to hit now the grain dealer, grain sell point. And here we have 2 dump options. Let's just see how they are marked on the map. They are listed as a single dump point, the cooperative. So I'm assuming we just kind of have a choice as to which one we go through. Now, I'm going to go ahead and take this road real fast, cross to the animal dealer, and then we'll circle back to the sugarcane sell point. I like the use of these speed bumps. They're not too invasive. Here we have our animal dealer sell point. This is typically where we're going to sell our bales, hay, straw, grass, silage. Our animal dealer animal trigger, located right there. Now, with respect to the last point of interest, trigger and interactive icons being clearly marked. I think through the duration of this map video, we have seen that for the most part they are indeed clearly marked, so we're going to be giving the map a full point there as well, and that is going to give this map a score of 4.25 out of 5. We lost a quarter of a point 3 times with respect to the ability to sell our crops, products, and animal outputs, because we do not have the ability to sell fabric, chocolate, or planks. We also lost a quarter of a point with respect to the farm being customizable, because the pole barn is kind of embedded permanently in the map. And then finally we lost a quarter of a point with respect to buildings using the new texturing technique, because there are a few buildings around the map that I would say are not using that new technique. I believe one of them is the farmhouse, one of them is definitely the pole barn, and then there's a few others scattered around as well. So here we have our sugarcane dump point for our cell. Then, as I mentioned earlier in the flyover, off behind that we have a buy point to buy slurry, and that has been set up here kind of at our wastewater pits, where we can come down, buy some slurry, use it on our fields as fertilizer. But it would have been really cool to have seen this particular facility set up not only as a sugarcane sell point, but also as a sugarcane to sugar factory, with slurry as kind of a production byproduct. Let me know your all's thoughts down in the comments below with respect to this particular map. Do you feel the scoring is accurate? Would you have given the map a higher score or a lower score based upon our scoring metrics? And until next time, happy farming.